Welcome back to our second episode of the SHOT Show series.
Second episode. Wow, nice.
And go ahead, keep doing your announcer job. Don't take half of it. Come on, you got to do the whole job.
So this is, we forgot on the last one. This is the I Hate Insurance podcast, SHOT Show edition. We're not very official here. We're still learning and we're dialing it in. So
Got it.
If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah.
We'll start with Lena.
Yeah, I'm Lena Miculek, professional competitive shooter, firearms instructor, products development, advocate for the 2A. I don't know, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Does everything really well.
I try. I do try very much so.
Absolutely. I'm Sophia Espina. I have my own social media platform for all topics concealed carry, my journey in novice level competitive shooting, grappling, and my own podcast named She Shield Podcast. So happy to be here.
And you two met and became friends, right?
We did. Yeah, I stalked her on social media for a little while, and then she stalked me, and then we finally got to meet up at a big event. And then hit it off and have gotten to instruct together, which I've really enjoyed. So Rose has been forever growing and expanding since we launched just under 2 years ago. And one of my biggest pushes last year was more easily accessible live fire education for women. So Sophia was one of my assistant instructors in that. So we got to travel around a bit last year and teach ladies on the range and walk them through their very first competition shooting experience. So it was super fun times. And now we're looking to expand our business side together, and hopefully she'll be my videographer next year and travel around with me to all sorts of things, capturing the moment.
All cool things gone.
All the cool things.
Coolest job ever. And getting to learn from her is such a blessing, both with shooting and how to teach all of it. So,
Right. Well, you're really educators, right? Again, whoever, doesn't like guns, I think needs to be educated.
Absolutely.
And, you don't have to have a gun. You could defend yourself lots of ways. And so, I already told you, I call myself the insurance preacher. That's my new nickname, self-given. Because when I get going, all of a sudden I'm thinking, dude, you sound like a preacher.
We'll bring you a soapbox to the corner of Vegas next time. I'm excited to see you out there sharing the insurance gospel.
That's a pretty ugly image, right? So anyway, I've been doing this way too long. And I started as an agent, and I insured the land of the misfit toys. Mm-hmm. So in 1985, there was this insurance crisis, front page, all the newspapers. People were out of business because of lawyers being able to advertise and churning up the legal system. So it really affected small niche businesses like helicopter ski guides, hunting guides, rafting companies, skating rinks. And most of them had government permits. And you have to name the government as an additional insured. Just like if you have a range, you name the landowner. And everybody said, that makes it uninsurable. And I was a dumb kid. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because if I issue you $1 million limit as, your business, and I name the U.S. government, it doesn't change anything. It's still the same $1 million. Right? It's still the same accident, still the same lawsuit. So, and they said release forms were no good when you sign a release form. And that's not true. Release forms, I took a case to the Supreme Court in California in 1988 called Saines versus Whitewater Voyages and proved all the lawyers and all the insurance companies wrong. And since then, that's impacted the industry because they are good when you don't screw up. Right? If you screw up, just like immunity for cops, you have immunity as long as you do your job right. But when you cross the line and you wrongfully arrest somebody, that immunity goes away. So, and I'm concerned with immunity for gun manufacturers and people going away because it is an extra, bush in front of you that provides some protection. But don't hide behind the bush if a bullet's coming at you. Right? Find something more solid than that.
Absolutely.
So, I'm all about partnerships, right? It's everything I do. I look like the playground or a sport. And that's what the legal system is. You just have to be comfortable with the game and not listen to the wrong coaches or quarterbacks. And now Remington is the biggest faux pas ever in the insurance business, and I didn't insure them, so I don't know exactly what went on, except the details everybody knows, except the former president that ran it when it was publicly traded called, and he wanted to bring it out of bankruptcy, and nobody would insure him. And, I insured the Rolling Stones concert during COVID when nobody would insure it. So that's kind of when I get to meet people. And I told him, I said, so who was the genius that decided to settle this frivolous lawsuit? Which to me, if you take that same theory, Ford Motor would be sued for the car running people over in New Orleans, right? It's a weapon at that point. So, obviously Ford would never pay. Why Remington paid? You settle a bullshit lawsuit like that to not go bankrupt. When you settle it, that's part of the agreement. They settled it and went bankrupt. So that's what I asked him. I'm like, so how do you do that? Because I've never done that, and I've done it longer than anybody. And I've handled as big a lawsuits as that, multiple states. And now anytime a dirtbag takes you on, they start suing you in multiple states because you start bleeding worse. And most people give up. It's like, I can't bleed this much.
That makes them ready to settle sooner.
Well, that's why you got a good insurance company,
Absolutely.
so you're not bleeding.
Yeah.
Right? So again, my job is to spend more money when that's what's required, and you protect not only that insured, but you protect the industry. If release forms are no good, it hurts the whole industry. If, immunity for gun manufacturers isn't good, hurts the whole industry. If the immunity goes away, you're just like Ford, right? You can still fight and you can still win that lawsuit. I don't want the immunity to go away either, but if it would, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So anyway, I've been winning lawsuits for 40 years that lawyers told me I can't win. And every one I win, I force the lawyers to do it. And I have to have a partner. The insured has to say, yeah, Rick, I'm with you. And my challenge is, I know how the play goes. You're going to go get your own lawyer at some point, and I'm going to tell you, when you can go get anywhere you want, they're all going to say, tell Rick to settle. And I'm going to say, look, if you tell me to settle, I'm settling, right? But insureds always complain that the insurance company shouldn't have settled. And you can't do it alone. You got to make the same decision, execute the play, execute the shot. And
All
if you lose, you appeal. That's what appellate courts are for. And that's what Trump proved, right? Our new president. If you lose a lawsuit, that's like the first inning of a baseball game, right? And Park and I were on a phone call recently with the Motocross Association, and they can't get coverage anymore. They're being told release forms are no good. Kids can't ride anymore. I mean, stupid shit. And I'm like, none of that's right, right? And I'll insure you. But they had a plaintiff's lawyer on there that told the story how he got a $40 million judgment. Right? Anytime somebody tells you and they show you their check, look, I make this much money, come work here, it's fake, right? When a lawyer gets a $40 million judgment and it's actually a $40 million judgment he can collect, he isn't going to tell anybody. They promote it when it's fake. So, and I know enough about it that I said to him, I said, you got a $40 million fake judgment's what you got. So how much is the land you took from the motocross guy? Because he didn't have insurance. He said, I don't know. I don't believe him, right? A lawyer who took an asset doesn't know what it's worth, right? So he's actually trying to sell it to these motocross guys for a premium because he thinks it's worth more than the dirt, which it's not. It's got some hills on it, which make it worth less, actually, especially now since it's been sued and you got a $40 million judgment. I'm not excited about overpaying for it. So
it's such a, in the worlds that we run in, we're so lucky to like already have these buffers in place so that we can do what we do without the fear of having everything that we are on the line, because if we didn't have the protection of insurance and people that would stand up and continue to make sure that the line isn't pushed, because it will be. As soon as someone settles, as soon as a new bar is set, a standard, then everybody jumps on it. It's like, oh, whoa, they're not going to fight. We can just sue everybody. We can just take whatever it is that they'll let us. But we're so lucky to, like have that cozy comfort so that when we do go out and teach women on the range, and there are hazards and other people that won't insure you, as I made a instructing business this year to help support Rose. I had to find insurance for that, and that was a doozy. Found you guys. I'm a shocker, right? And it all worked out.
And we give you what you need.
Yeah.
We're not being tricky. We're not going to.
Very straightforward, but it allows us to be able to be who we are and to support women. And it's really cool. Like if I didn't have you guys, then a lady that I just had here at SHOT Show who shared an amazing story with me of a spinal cord injury that for 12 years she wasn't able to shoot. And everybody told her she couldn't anymore. And then she came to our class and learned some stuff. Shot not only through the class, shot her first mini competition. She went back in her car and told me she cried afterwards on her drive home and was so excited because it was the first time she'd been able to gain back some power that she felt like in her life since her injury. And I ran into her at this show, and you know what she's doing now? She's a firearms instructor. She's already got 6 students. She's got an instructor herself that she goes to with every single day she's pursuing. But it's just like the impact that firearms in the industry and education was able to have on her could only be if the instructors are allowed to do what they can do and share their expertise. And as soon as people come in and they're trying to muffle that and take what you have, and it's just super sad. So I'm so thankful that we do have someone willing to insure the cool things out there, because everything you do insure is all the fun stuff.
Well, and we do the National Liability Center at Park City. They teach people in wheelchairs to, mono ski, and there's rafting companies. And again, people say, you can't take these people down the river. Right? And we've had people in a wheelchair show up for a river trip and say, I'm going to sue you for the American Disabilities Act if you don't take me. And they threaten to sue. They call me up. They're going to threaten to sue. I'm like, tell them to sue. Because what they should have done was told you they're handicapped before they booked. Right? And we can take them if we know. Right? There are people who specialize in taking people on river trips and kayaking trips that are disabled. So, again, if you buy into all the fear, none of that's possible. Release forms are no good. And, again, I think they're probably a better risk than people who don't appreciate that they can go do this stuff, right? They stub their toe and they're suing you. The people who are in a wheelchair, they fall over, scrape their face, somebody else would be suing you saying, I was going to be a movie star and now I can't be. Look at this scar on my face, So it's funny when people go overboard with their lawsuit, because when you take them to a jury, they look really stupid. They do. I mean, a jury's sitting there like, this doesn't make sense. And risk is, like mountain climbing. Says, oh, that's really high risk. Well, if you go to Denali, it's the most dangerous peak in the world. 50% of the people who try and climb it die, and they know that. Not many people are signing up to go to Denali. Yeah. So if something happens, those are the easiest to defend, which insurance people don't get. The hardest ones to defend are a canoe rental on a flat water lake where grandpa goes out with a granddaughter. He has a heart attack and he dies, and people feel sorry for him. And I always take the approach, we feel sorry for him too, right? But he could have died at home in his lazy boy. Right. Right. And it's traumatic for the daughter to be there, but it'd be traumatic if he was at home in his lazy boy too.
And also out on the water fishing and spending time with family sounds way better than the lazy boy.
That's a better place to die. And that's, they're like, you shouldn't have taken him down the Grand Canyon. It's like, that's his choice, right? If he's 80 years old and he wants to go down the Grand Canyon, And normally he wouldn't ever sue, but it's like nursing homes that I insure too. You know, you have people show up in an ambulance, their kids didn't come, they transfer them, you know, they come down to Naples, take over their house, never visit them, then they die, and then they sue saying, you mistreated my parents, right? And truth is, with the best nursing homes, we go and we win those all the time too, because you're able to show that we take pictures of them when they show up, and we can show that we improve their condition. They're never going to walk out of a nursing home, right? That's kind of where it's going in that direction, and you just keep them as comfortable as you can. But if you never fight those frivolous lawsuits, it just goes out of control. So, no.
They'll take everything they can.
Yeah, and then it's more. The kid that got $1.3 million at a racetrack, motocross track in L.A. It's closed down now.
And how sad is that? Like, it's so sad to hear even that. Like, oh man, it got shut down. How many careers and futures and like amazing memories and times shared there are now no longer,
right?
Because somebody just had to.
Yeah. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to any track. I'm going to do that because I'll take $1.3 million for 2 broken legs. I can live on that every year.
Every year, you're like, yeah. This year it's going to be the ankle. We're going to take the ankle out.
But we try and do it right, and we offer a partnership, not a policy. We customize it to what you do. We're not excluding firearms or assault and battery. Or again, one of the clues, if you ever are looking for red flags on insurance, is if you have to buy more than one policy, right? You own a hotel, and they say, yeah, we'll do a package. We got a great package, but we don't like the liquor. So you have to buy a separate liquor policy. That means they really don't want to insure your business because your business is liquor here.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
It's like probably the majority, right? So, again, one policy allows you to manage litigation much easier, right? So again, if I'm trying to take your money and not take the real risk, then I tell you to buy a separate policy for something. And that's been standard procedure in the insurance business. And that's how USCCA and firearms liability became a product, right? It should just be included in your business and your personal policies if you carry a firearm. And, we don't even call it a firearm because there's 2 states that say you can't sell firearms liability. And I'm like, okay, I don't sell firearms liability. I sell personal liability. And I cover anything, assault, battery, sexual abuse, molestation. They're like, why would you cover that? Well, because I underwrite people, right? If I meet with a dirt bag, right? Yeah, I'm not going to insure them, right? So I don't have to worry about that stuff. So anyway, you do have to know your client, and it's about a relationship. And we try and take people shooting, hunting, boating, fishing. I don't care what you do with
all
people.
All the cool things.
Yeah.
True X insurance style.
If we think you're a cheater, we take you golfing, and then I watch to see if you cheat golfing.
Oh, is that so? Have you caught anybody?
All insurance guys cheat golfing. I'm telling you.
So you get to watch it play out. And see it all happen.
And it's like I tell everybody, now I know. I'm glad to know that, that's what you think.
That's about the cheapest way you can probably figure that out, too.
Right, yeah.
A round of golf.
So tell us what you got planned for this year. You're going to partner up and travel. And
oh, yeah. Hopefully, as far as Sophia and I together, our biggest projects are rebranding and relaunching my family's YouTube channel. I helped my dad launch it a long time ago and was kind of the driving force behind organizing it, making sure everything flowed. And I did that for quite a few years. And then I moved away and I really focused on my career. And sadly, he had some really bad videographers come in and kind of screw him over. So he just didn't want it anymore. And
we know some of those.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. But now I'm in a place where I have surrounded myself with a really fantastic videographer. Sophia is also a phenomenal videographer and photographer. And people not only that I trust, but that can be invited into my family. Because, like shooting for us is our career, but it's also what we share as a family and the personal side to our journey. Like this year to the world stage and to the national stage, I want to share our real family side.
Right.
So I can invite Sophia into that personal look into what do 3 people going to the PCC World Shoot in the Czech Republic look like? And also, like, my dad just turned 70 back in September. Mom is 67 years old. And as of last October, I finally found her a gun that she can shoot. So she had a back injury that's kept her out for a lot of years. And actually somebody that y'all insure, y'all know him, Flux, been in them down there, that little tiny Flux Raider that they make is allowing my mom to shoot again.
Oh.
And it is freaking my dream come true. I haven't been able to share the range with her since 2018. And last October, we all went to nationals together. I just signed us up and told them they were going. And mom and dad went, and like mom went to shoot the first stage. I'm over here like tearing up. It's just awesome to be able to do that again. So in May, we'll go to the Czech Republic and compete at a world match all together, and that'll be super fun. And Sophia will get to go along for all the prep and the training for it. And
you guys are going to do a YouTube video on it?
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a multi-part series because there's so much that's going to go into it. I mean, right now we're working on building our guns and booking our travel and paperwork and all that. But
so where did you go this last year? You went somewhere.
Last year, we competed in Finland for the IPSC Rifle World Shoot. And then I took my mom and dad on an 11-country road trip because my mom had a bunch of countries to check off her list. And I was like, get in the car, and we'll get you there.
You
and
took guns on the road trip.
No. We didn't do that. Europe's not much about that.
But the other trip you did.
No, we leave them. You have to store them. You have to arrange safe storage when you travel internationally for your firearms because your permit is only for that one specific country. So we found safe storage for our rifles in Finland, went on an 11-country road trip, went back to Finland, got them, and then flew home. Yeah, no, they're not much. Now...
It's not America over there.
You don't just show up. They might have found some rifle ammo in my carry-on and were like, what is this? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Cop. But luckily we were back in Finland and I had permits saying that. But I had traveled. I had literally left Finland, gone through 11 other countries, and then they found it when I was back in Finland. And I was like, whoo, safe call.
Shows you their TSAs aren't that good, right?
Yeah.
Or border checks.
I don't know. We like it. We don't need to get any better. They found nothing. You guys are doing great. Don't search anymore. What about you, Sophia?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, I'm just so excited to be part of your family for all of that. And I know it hasn't been said that way officially, but yes, part of the family. That's what you all make everyone feel like. And collecting authentic content is important. Of course, you want to feel like you're there with the individual across the screen. It would be hard to do that without being around people that you feel like you can be authentic with. So it's an honor to be around you guys, and your family is just so lovely. So I'm excited to be part of that. And also continue shooting with you, teaching with Rose. It's incredible to watch Lena tailor even this class. You know, she has a steady curriculum for each class, but she's able to tailor it to each student that comes in. And also the prep we went through as assistant instructors was next level. We got to do, I think, 3 test classes before we ever even stepped into the actual event. So that was very helpful for us to get us oriented. And the other 2 assistant instructors we have, Sheila and Haley, are incredible women. We're good, I think, at disarming, funny enough, the students that come in and then making them feel right at home so they can learn how to shoot for the first time and compete.
Yeah, because everyone walks in like this.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Like terrified.
They're like statues.
I've gotten to work with everyone, but I mean, my favorite with Rose is the brand new. Is the people that show up and they're like, I've never touched a gun. Or I get a ton of people that have terrible experiences. that then come to us. And those are the ones I'm the most proud of, and why we spend so much time on like how we present our information, how we talk to the student, not only what we're saying, but when we're saying it, how we're saying it, where we're saying it at. There's a lot of important things that go into taking someone that has had a traumatic experience and like taking their hand and walking through that with them. And they'll do it all there. And they just like, you set them up for success. And I'm always so proud of the fact that if you line them up for success, you explain the process, they will take the steps.
So
like,
not to get
they
like
will.
nosy, but you
Yeah.
say they've been through a traumatic experience.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it they were in an abusive relationship?
I've had it all. I've had it from abusive relationships to assault to being held at gunpoint to their house being broken into and their family being held at gunpoint, to just about anything. It's been wild.
And so are they like, did that experience make them feel like I'm never going to be there again? I'm going to have the ability to defend myself. Is that why they're there?
It's always a mixture. It's such firearms ownership in general is an extremely unique journey for everybody, because you can be a firearms owner and have a huge different like goal set than the next person. So for people, especially when they're coming to firearms to face a fear, everyone's handling it in such a different way. Some people, just being around gunfire again is a step towards that and being comfortable. Someone this year that I was extremely proud of was a lady that came to a Rose Retreat. Very, very sadly, she had lost her son, who is a police officer, to firearms violence. And before then, she and her son had always shared the range. It's what they had gone and done together. And then after that, she couldn't. So it had been like 4 years, and she couldn't hear gunshot. She couldn't beat nothing. And she came out there, took the class, shot, did amazing, and was like, and it wasn't easy. It's not just like they walk up and they shoot. Like, she's on the line, she's trembling. Every gunshot is like on her. It's just jumping, but she did it. She worked through it, and at the end of it, she's crying. Everyone's cheering her on. And then the next day, she comes up and she's like, "I'm ready to go back. Like, I want more of that." So everyone's experience is unique. But I have yet to meet anyone that hasn't walked away with more confidence in themselves. And that was the whole purpose of Rose, and why it started was my mission to fight fear. My family doesn't have really any traditions besides winning gold medals. We like that one. We like that one a lot. But outside of that, like, we're not really traditional people. But my mom and I have one tradition that we actually started at SHOT Show a long time ago. And it's that every year we try and face a fear as head on as we can. And it's not to like overcome it. Like, I have a fear of heights. I've jumped off the stratosphere and gone rock climbing and skydiving. But like, we don't, once again, do it to overcome it, but to face it and walk through it and prove to ourselves that like we're the captain of our own ship. And if I want to drive this ship off a 108-story building, I'll do it. So that's our tradition. And that's what started Rose, because during COVID, I finally like had a break and couldn't travel. And I looked around and freaking the whole world was terrified. And fear is a liar and a thief of life, and it will take as much as you let it if you don't face it. And I looked around, saw everybody terrified in COVID, and thought, what do I do? Because like, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to let people walk around like that. And I decided I would teach everybody. I thought that would end up with me getting fired, because you usually don't go and tell your boss, that job I do for you and have done for you, I'm not going to do it anymore. I got to go teach people. So I thought SIG was going to fire me. And instead of that, they said, nope, we're going to do your dream together. And that's how Rose started. So it's those people that we're talking about that are like coming to Firearms, whether it be because they just want to educate themselves, or they want to face a fear, or they just want to have a new craft, or they just want to be educated on firearms because they're everywhere. Whatever it is, that's awesome. And we've just made an easy pathway into the firearms world to find that education, that community, that support and products. So it's been really awesome. Very cool. And those people, like when you watch them walk through that fear and come out the other side, and just like, they're just brighter. They're brighter, they're more powerful, and then they go on to do epic things. And that's wild. Like, we teach people to shoot guns.
Absolutely.
But once we do that and we prove to them that they like have this power that they kind of thought they didn't in some capacity, then they go and do great things everywhere. And
It's like winning lawsuits. You're told you can't win.
yeah.
It's like, told you.
Yeah. As soon as you show someone they can do the thing that they didn't believe that they could, or that they shouldn't, or anything like that, it opens up doors for people unlike anything else. And that's one of the coolest things about Rose. Absolutely.
Yes. I wish I'd had it when I started. There were so many pieces and I didn't know how to put them all together. I remember getting my first gun. It was actually around COVID time as well. Thinking back, it was definitely 2019 leading into 2020. And I didn't know how to connect the dots. You know, there was buying a gun, buying a holster, learning where to put it on your body, maintain your style, which is important, right? We identify a lot through our style. And then also, when can I use this? How do I do this if, you know, someone's already encroached in my space and it becomes a fight for the gun? The Rose program is now something that I can direct anyone to, even if they don't own a Rose pistol, which I think is lovely. I mean, you could have put a lot of paywalls up, but you offered that to everyone.
Education and communities for everybody.
Yes.
No paywalls for that. We don't care. You can even own a Glock. We'll still educate you and teach you how to shoot it good. Well, as good as it can be shot.
Dig.
But it's true. We're just here to support people because, like, we both saw the impact that it had on our lives. And one of the coolest things about teaching women, there's a lot of cool things about it, but I was talking with another company in the industry earlier, and they were talking about women's education and other things and didn't really know what to do. And I was like, listen, when you get the woman, you get the household. Like, we're always like, man, how do we grow the industry? How do we do this? You get the woman, you get the entire household. You get the guy, you get the guy. So, yeah, educate the
Trump
women.
figured that out, by the way.
Did he?
Oh, yeah, that's how he won.
I've been saying that for years. And my mom has known that for even longer because she's been teaching women since I was a little kid. So we've always been saying that. And I said it to him and he was like, wow, that makes sense. And I was like, yeah, no doubt. You gotta get them because you want their kids, you want their friends, you want their yoga partner, you want who they go to Pilates and coffee with, and they'll tell them. Nobody talks more than a lady. And that's what we love about them. Suit them up and you give them a tool that helps them. And they're like, oh my gosh, who can I give this to? Look at it. It's great. Do you want it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're great. I love them.
So any ladies that take the Rose course, maybe we'll give a discount on our personal umbrella for.
Oh.
Anybody that's
educated.
related to these people get they're part of the family. Yeah, they definitely get a. Not that it's like rocket science, but I grade people like lawyers, whoever I use, red, yellow, and green.
Oh.
So the green people, you don't have to worry about, right? You know how they're going to execute when they're under fire. The yellow people, you're not too sure about, but you want to give them a chance. The red people, I know how they react. I don't have time for them. I'm too old to try and educate red people. They're not ever going to come around. And if they do, they can try and prove it to us, right? But the one thing that, we would like to do, if we can, and, we're trying to do good things like you, we want to create opportunities. We call them summits. Brian probably hasn't told you he was supposed to, but, we want to help you put on an event. We don't care what it is, fishing in Florida, I'm sure there has to be a gun range nearby.
Always have a gun on me.
If you don't want to do gun training, you want to take a break from it, you can go fishing, or if we can incorporate your stuff with our people.
We
Ooh,
do it all.
fun.
We want to do multiple things.
Well, you guys are connected with everybody. So how amazing. When you say a summit for X Insurance, it's like, man, you guys have such reach and such power. You could bring in so many people. You could have me teaching guns, someone teaching fishing, someone race boats, anything. You got somebody for everybody.
Well, and that's what, again, people that haven't been to Lake Powell, that's a great thing to do because, people haven't been there. It's mind blowing. We've all been there so much that you start to take it for granted. But when you take people there, they see it. But, and doing cool stuff, right? Where you actually get them out of their comfort zone and they can create cool content for themselves. It's about lifting everybody up. But, we have the race boats. We can let people drive race boats. They're in certain locations and, I can arrange for them to be practicing at the same time. And so really anything's possible. I've gone and golfed way too much. That's what boring insurance people do. They go golfing over and over again.
Yeah,
I'll go golfing every once in a while.
cheaters or not.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah, that's a good test. But then you want to go do some other stuff. And, fishing, anything outdoor, and then anything exciting. So we would love to, have you pick some dates and some people. We'll pay for the whole thing. Make sure that we like smaller groups, not bigger groups.
Perfect. I can find you a real small one.
We get that.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll work on
Well, that would be splendid. We would enjoy that. Thank you very much for the
we'll
offer.
it'll be a woman's summit. We'll just be like the butlers. We'll show up at appropriate times to bring the proper stuff. Bullets,
Fantastic.
guns,
There's lots of heavy
boats.
stuff that can be moved around.
Yes.
And a lot of things will need to be demoed and maintenance. So perfect.
So I don't know if Parker has a new son. So
I do.
I'm a grandpa.
Yeah.
So when people say grandpa, I look around and see if my dad's there.
But oh gosh, it's you, huh?
I realize it after like 30 seconds. But so Willow, his wife, is awesome. And her dad made her awesome because when they would fight up in the wilderness where they lived,
Up in Idaho?
he would make them move the wood stack from one side of the yard to the other. And so that's how you learn don't mess with dad.
Yeah. Mine was a lead stack.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My dad had a 4-ton lead. He still does. He has a 4-ton lead stack, all in bricks. And I have moved those silly bricks more times than anybody should ever even know about lead bricks. Like lots of smashed fingers too. Triangles are a pain to stack.
When was the last time you had to move them?
Oh, luckily it was a long time ago.
You're a quick learner.
Oh yeah, and also you get summer strong, moving your lead stack and tarring roofs. Good character building.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming and
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you for supporting the industry like y'all do, and not only ours, but all the cool ones out there, all the ones that people so easily want to take advantage of. And when that happens, it's just tragic to watch people lose possible livelihoods, and everything's always so sentimental for me in shooting because of my family and all the ties that we have. So like just imagining that not being available to people is really horrible. So thank y'all for supporting us and Ranges and all the other cool people so we can keep being the pros that we are and supporting people and facing their fears and going outside their comfort zone and bettering themselves.
right. Well, we like supporting good people. And in the insurance business, people focus on classes of business, right? You go to agents who specialize in a certain class. And I insure classes of people, red, yellow, green, right? I don't insure classes of businesses because every business has bad and good people, right? So if you pick good partners, we learned that on the playground when we were really young, right? Now we really don't look at that a lot because we're impressed or look at, people's education rather than their performance and execution. So education's important, but if you use it in a bad way or in a short-sighted way, I think you've wasted it. So
Absolutely.
we appreciate our partnership, and we look forward to you guys designing a summit that we can support.
Ooh, how exciting.
I think you
Yes.
should drive the race boat. That's
I
what
think we should drive the race
Absolutely.
boat.
I second.
Absolutely. Yeah. No.
you can go as
arguments.
fast or as slow as you want. We don't want to scare you.
Still a race boat. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. We'll see. Whoo, wow. How exciting.
It'll just be in a straight line. They won't turn.
I like it. I don't want to turn.
Turn's the scary part, but
Very cool. Well, thank you, sir.
thank you. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.